Welcome to Fino. In this tutorial, we'll learn how to integrate Fino's React Native Push SDK into any React Native application. Firstly, it's required to have a Fino account with an active workspace. Once that's in place, let's proceed to set up an integration. Navigate to the Integrations tab and select Fino Push from the list. Enter a custom name for the integration. The app bundle ID is the app package name found on the first line of mainactivity.kt. Open your React Native application in Android Studio, copy the app bundle ID, and paste it into the Allowed App Bundle IDs text box. Repeat this process for iOS by opening the React Native application in Xcode and locating the app bundle ID. Under Signing and Capabilities, copy the bundle identifier and paste it into the Allowed App Bundle IDs text box, ensuring the IDs are comma-separated. To obtain the Firebase project ID, log in to the Firebase console and create a project. Go to Project Settings under Project Overview and select Service Accounts. Generate a new private key and download it. Open the private key with a text editor of your choice. Copy the project ID, client email, and private key. Paste them into the respective fields, taking care to copy the entire private key exactly as it is. For APNS configuration, log in to your account on the Apple Developer Forum and click on Keys. Generate a new key, naming it and enabling the Apple Push Notification Service, APNS. Register and download the key. Copy the key ID and team ID, which can be found under Membership Details, paste them into the respective fields, and include the App Bundle ID as well. Open the downloaded private key with a text editor, replace new lines with \n to make the text one line, and paste the formatted private key into the respective field. Once done, click on Add Account to finalize your integration. Next is the installation of the React Native SDK. Copy the installation command into a terminal at the root of your React Native application. This will install the SDK and add the dependency to the package.json file. Let's now initialize the React Native SDK in the app. Use the init method in the app function inside an useEffect function so that the init runs on every app launch. Locate the Workspace ID under Workspace Settings and the Integration ID in the Configured Integration. Leave the distinct ID empty and use Live as the version. Once initialized, let's register for push notifications. Use FCM for Android devices and APNS for iOS devices. Implement the logic for register push and modify the provider as needed. Upon user login, employ the identify function so the user profile is associated with a distinct ID. Adapt the logic for identify with the appropriate values. Finally, implement the reset user function upon user logout, ensuring to handle exceptions. Let's cover the Android-specific configuration necessary for enabling push notifications in a React Native application. Additionally, we'll test the configuration by sending a test notification. To begin, navigate to the Firebase console to register a new Android app if you haven't already done so. Fill in the Android package name, and if you wish, add an optional nickname, then click Register App. Our next step is to download the Google Services.json file and place it within the app folder of your project. Then, we must add the Google Services class path dependency in the root-level build.gradle file and the Google Services plugin dependency in the app-level build.gradle file. After making these additions, click on Sync Now to synchronize the dependencies. Once the dependencies are synced, run the application on an emulator or a physical device. This will initialize the SDK and register for push notifications using FCM, as the init and register push functions are called on app launch. Upon the first launch, a new user profile will be created with the push token attached to it. This can be verified under User Profiles. Next, let's log in with a distinct ID, which will call the identify function and update the distinct ID of the recently created user profile. Now, let's test the configuration by sending a test notification. Copy the distinct ID and head over to the Notification Events page. Ensure you have a template and a notification event created to be able to test sending push notifications. Click on the desired notification event and click on Go to Playground. Paste the distinct ID, making sure that distinct ID is selected under Trigger Using option and the correct version is selected. Click on Fire Notification and check the testing emulator or device. A new push notification should have been delivered, and you can check the delivery log under the Delivery tab in Log Details. Additionally, if the notification is clicked or dismissed, those details are also captured and displayed under the Delivery tab in Log Details. Now let's cover the iOS-specific configuration necessary for enabling push notifications in a React Native application. We'll also test the configuration by sending a test notification. First, we run pod install in the iOS folder of the React Native application to install the necessary pod dependencies. Should you encounter any issues during this process, please refer to our FAQ section for guidance. Once the dependencies are successfully installed, we add push notification capabilities to the application. Navigate to the Target section, select your app target, and access the Signing and Capabilities tab. Click on Add Capability and include the Push Notifications feature. Subsequently, we add the Background Modes capability and enable the Remote Notifications option, which allows the app to receive push notifications while running in the background. We then move on to register for push notifications by making certain changes in the appdelegate.m file. Create an empty Swift file to generate the React Native bridging header. Then, copy and paste the required imports under the existing imports within the appdelegate.m file. Next, we copy code snippets from the documentation and paste them into the appdelegate.m file. Afterwards, add a notification service extension to the application. Using the File menu from the action bar, hover over New and select the Target option. Locate the Notification Service Extension option, either by scrolling down or using the search function, and proceed to the next step. Here, we provide a product name, select the development team, choose Objective-C as the programming language, and finalize by clicking Finish. The subsequent step involves replacing the default content of the generated notification service.m file with the code outlined in our documentation. Lastly, we need to incorporate the Fino iOS SDK package as a dependency to the notification service extension. It's crucial to verify that the minimum deployment target is set to iOS 12. After selecting the notification service extension target, click on the plus button beneath Frameworks and Libraries. Add the Fino.xc framework to your newly created notification service extension. Click on the plus button again and under Add Other, select Add Package Dependency and search for the Firebase iOS SDK GitHub repository as mentioned in the documentation. Select and add the Firebase messaging product from the Firebase iOS SDK package, ensuring that the target is set to the notification service extension you have created. All integration and setup steps are now complete. Proceed with running the application on a simulator or a physical device. This will initialize the SDK and register for push notifications using APNS, as the init and register push functions are called at app launch. Upon the first launch, the app will create a new user profile with an associated push token, which you can confirm under User Profiles. To test your configuration, send a test notification. Copy the distinct ID and navigate to the Notification Events page. Before proceeding, ensure you have both a template and a notification event ready. Select the desired notification event and click on Go to Playground. Paste the distinct ID. Confirm that distinct ID is the selected option under Trigger Using and that you've chosen the correct version. Finally, click on Fire Notification and observe the test emulator or device. You should receive a new push notification. Examine the delivery log under the Delivery tab in Log Details. The log will show whether the notification was clicked or dismissed, with details displayed under the Delivery tab in Log Details.